Hi, Paul and Harry here from Trek It. We're out in our local woods today on this cool, crisp autumn day to talk to you about the Meindl Antelao GTX. So what is the Meindl Antelao GTX, I hear you ask? Well, it's your classic kind of day walking boot. It features some great technology to keep you comfortable, keep you supported. You could use it for slightly more demanding hikes or even some easier multi-day hikes where you might be carrying a heavier load. It features Meindl's Comfort Fit Last. So this boot is designed specifically for people with wider feet. So it's wider across the met heads here, this section of the boot, and it has a little bit more volume in the toe box, but we'll move on to that a little bit later. So it's made by Meindl, a company I'm sure you're all familiar with. Meindl themselves have been making boots since about 1658. So they should know what they're doing by now. They have a great heritage and they make great quality products that we have absolute faith in and really like selling here at Trek It. So what is the Meindl Antelao GTX made from? Well, let's start with the outside of the boot, the uppers if you like. The uppers are made from a split leather and mixture of leather and nylon. Predominantly split leather around the boot here to give them good durability. Leather is a really durable fabric, provided you look after it properly. And then Meindl have used lighter weight nylon with a little bit more flexibility around the tongue area, around the ankle joint here where you need the flexibility on this joint here, and also around the top of the cuff. So good durability, but combining that with some lightweight fabrics to keep the overall weight of the boot down. The lining of the boot, the bit that's on the inside if you like, so sandwiched between the leather and fabric uppers and the actual lining itself is a reliable gore-tex membrane. So I'm sure you all know that gore-tex is completely waterproof, it's breathable and adds a degree of comfort and protection inside the boot. Please bear in mind though that the gore-tex membrane only comes up to just short of the ankle cuff here, so the boot isn't waterproof to the top. It's only waterproof to where the top of the gore-tex membrane is, which is about here. So you kind of your wading depth, if you like, is not the top of the boot, it's about here. Harry will do a close-up of this later anyway. So if you combine that gore-tex membrane with the protection that you get from the leather, that's been cared for by you beautifully, which I know you're going to do, you get a real belt and braces approach to keeping your feet dry and comfortable. Okay, let's talk about the midsole. So the midsole of the boot is the bit that you don't normally see. Well, you can't see in fact because it's sandwiched between the outer sole and the top of the boot itself, and it's what gives the boot its kind of integral structure and stability. So in lightweight running shoes, the midsole will be very flexible and very lightweight to move around the foot, and then for sort of severe technical mountaineering boots it'll be totally rigid for front pointing up on crampons. So the Antelao uses a lightweight flexible midsole. You can see here the boot flexes and has a little bit of spring in it, and that is just to reduce fatigue underfoot and to provide support without the boot folding up or being too rigid that for kind of the walking that it's designed for would just be overkill. So a nice flexible gradual flex midsole with good stability in and around the heel. And then sandwiched between the midsole and the outer sole itself are these shock absorbing elements. So you can see here you've got this paler grey area running through here and then these darker grey areas. There's actually two different materials designed to perform in different ways. So around the heel where you get that impact strike when you're hiking and you're heel planting first or you're coming downhill, you've got this wedge of PU, polyurethane, which has got high kind of elasticity and shock absorption and really helps to take out that impact shock from around the heel. And then this lighter weight area is an EVA foam, again designed to reduce impact shock, but it's a lighter material than the PU, so it keeps the overall weight of the boot to as low as possible. So the bit that provides your grip and sure-footedness on mixed terrain is Meindl's Comfort Hiker design, and this is made by a company called Vibram. So it's made for Meindl by Vibram, and Vibram just make walking boot soles basically. They design and make walking boot soles, and they're always recognisable by this gold block here, and that's kind of your assurance of quality. They are about the best sole units out there at the moment, and have been tried and trusted by boot manufacturing companies for many years. The design itself is by Meindl, so the lug design, like I said, it's part of their Comfort Hiker range. So it's designed for hiking, It's going to shed the mud easily. It's got some good larger lugs around the outside, mud clearing, and then some more condensed lugs on the inside to help with the gait as you roll through and to provide grip on a multitude of terrains and different angles. You'll also notice that it's got a proper, what we call a heel breast, so there's a proper step here in front of the heel, so when you're descending, that helps to bite into soft ground, just really reinforcing the fact that this is, you know, more of a technical hiking boot with those attributes in the sole to give you the confidence when you're up in the hills. So what are the main features of the Antelao GTX? Well, really the main feature that's worth talking about the most is this comfort fit system that Meindl use. It really does make the boots superbly comfortable and luxurious feeling for those who have got wider feet. There's plenty of room around the toe box and plenty of room across the met heads that allows the big toe to sit in a neutral and natural position without being squashed and condensed inside the boot. So if you have got a wider foot and you do suffer and you do struggle to find boots to fit you, have a look at the Meindl Comfort Fit. Myself, I've got particular problems with my feet, and I find these really comfortable because it just takes the pressure off that large met head area. The other feature around the Comfort Fit that you get in the range is this superb footbed. So normally footbeds inside boots are a pretty rudimentary affair. They're just a piece of foam cut to the shape of your foot. But this is a fully supportive and cushioned footbed that's got a really comfortable high wicking top sheet. So you can see here it's made from a natural cork. So it has a great amount of support around this nice deep heel cup, which locates the heel into the back of the boot really securely. And then there is a cushioned area here, which is underneath the met heads, so it provides support. It's got a met dome basically, and just helps to support the toes through the natural rolling gait of your walking cycle. And then underneath the heel, you've got this other shock absorber placed here to help with that impact shock. So you've got impact shock reduction in the heel of the footbed and also in the heel of the boot through the polyurethane and the EVA midsole section running through there, making this a really comfortable boot for longer treks on mixed terrain. Okay, another couple of features worth mentioning. You get this rand which runs round kind of from the midsection of the boot all the way around the toe. Just helps to protect that leather on the outside from scuffs and scrapes. Doesn't really add anything to the waterproofing of the boot, but it certainly adds an element of protection just to keep that leather in good condition around areas of the boot that are going to be subject to sort of scuffs and scrapes. And then the lacing, you'll notice here, the lacing runs through a lightweight loop into this section of nylon, and that really is to avoid placing a metal rivet on that sensitive area of the foot and allow the boot to flex naturally around that ankle area. So it just keeps that movement free and free from pressure from rivets or hooks. Okay, just to prove how lightweight a pair of boots these are, this is the Antelao GTX from Meindl in a size UK 8, and the pair weighs 1.2 kilograms. So that's it, that's the Meindl Antelao GTX. To summarise, it's a lightweight, technical, wide-fitting, comfortable boot that's perfect for day hiking in the hills and the mountains, or for easier, longer treks where you may be carrying a bit of weight. It uses some clever technologies and that comfort fit last for people with wider fit. It's made by a company who have hundreds of years of experience in making footwear, so you can trust the brand and the quality is exceptional. And it's worth pointing out, to maintain the quality and to maintain the performance of the boot, they do need some TLC. You will need to clean them regularly. You will need to reproof the uppers to keep that leather supple and in good condition. So it's less about waterproofing and more about conditioning the leather, stopping it from drying and cracking, which is going to ruin your boots basically. And Meindl give a full warranty on their products, but in order to comply with their warranty, they do insist that you use Meindl Care products when looking after the boots. So that's something we would also endorse. We would recommend that you only use Meindl Care products when looking after washing, cleaning, reproofing your Meindl footwear. So if you would like some more information about how to care for your Meindl boots, or in fact any other boots, Harry will put a link up to some information that we've gathered for you. If you want to have a look at the Antelao in greater detail, Harry will put a link up also to our website where you can geek out on all the details. And as usual, if you like our content, please hit the subscribe button, or please feel free to add any comments or questions in the sections below. Thanks very much. Toodaloo.